our next guests, our next step, so to say, towards renewable energy future comes from CEZ, David Martínek, and he will talk about my future of modern energy. David, the floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the Nordic Chamber for inviting me, and I hope, as I said, you can see the presentation and you can hear me well. My name is David Martínek. I work as a public affairs manager in CEZ ESCO company. Firstly, I would like to introduce CEZ ESCO very shortly. We are 100% daughter company of CEZ. CEZ Group, maybe you know it, is a state-owned company focused mainly on generation and distribution of power. So we know quite a lot about energy for many years. And last decade, we have also learned that the world is changing very fast, and in energy sector, this is valid very significantly. As a result of decarbonization and sustainability pressure, we are expecting raising demand for renewables, also decentralization of generation, because nowadays the power is generated centrally and then distributed to the customers, and also a lot more projects including energy efficiency. Therefore, CEZ ESCO was established to provide B2B customers quite wide portfolio of energy services like energy savings, renewables, as I said, energy management, electromobility, something we call green energy, and I will talk about it a little bit more later, and many others. So now let's switch to the presentation itself. Let's say that the main drivers are 5 points, which I mentioned here on the first slide. First one is a very strong regulatory pressure to protect the environment. All of you probably know that the European Union wants to be the first emission neutral continent by 2050. And they are increasing the greenhouse gas reduction targets for 2030. So this is first very important driver. Second one is that customers want to be sustainable. We can probably, or we will hear a lot about it during today's event. And they want to be also self-sufficient, which is also quite related to the COVID pandemic, because everyone realized that it's not like a casual thing to have everything fine, to have electricity and so on. So they also want to be self-sufficient or resilient as we use. Third point is a demand for cost-effective solutions. Our customers want to aim on their core business. They don't want to, let's say, solve the energy because it's a big issue, and there are also not so many experts on the market. So but the demand is high, and the price of the technologies is getting lower, which is also very good for let's say implementing trends of modern energy. This is related to renewable energy sources, to electromobility, to smart lighting, design and build methods, and so on. So the time is quite busy in this segment, and we are still developing something new. The last point is, of course, the digitalization, which is all around us, and also somehow entering the energy sector. So you can remotely control a lot of things, and you can implement into your solutions quite a lot, let's say, digital parts. So as you can see, the combination of these trends and of course the political pressure and subsidizing are turning the passive customers into active and responsible customers. Often somehow connected with production of energy and also storage by accumulation. So it's quite, let's say, customer demand for effective and sustainable solutions in general. So we try to somehow help our customers to be sustainable and to contribute to a green future. So our solutions are always based on, let's say, 3 basic factors. First one is that we achieve energy savings. Second one is that we combine with renewable energy sources. In Czech conditions mean mainly photovoltaics. And of course, our solutions reduce carbon emissions. So we are trying to be the partner for B2B sector to meet criteria of European Green Deal. The portfolio of our services is very wide, starting with some, let's say, digital products like measurement and control, meaning the regulation systems via the hardware, like renewables, meaning photovoltaics, combined with energy storage, also electromobility, and of course commodity products like green energy from renewables, which we can deliver to our customers, usually combined with some, let's say, more simple hardware things like HVAC, heating systems, cogeneration, which we see as some kind of, let's say, transition source from the coal energy to let's say 100% renewable. So quite a lot of products, but we see the future and we try to propose our customers the combined solutions, because energy is let's say quite complicated and big sector, mainly in industry, for industrial customers, and also for public sector. So we try to combine all of products which you saw on the previous slide to achieve more savings, more decarbonization, and of course more productivity. So we call them somehow like smart city, which is provided mainly for the public customers, for the cities and the regions, like the public lighting and energy management and so on. Then, of course, the technical facility management, because somehow, of course, if you build something, you have to operate it and maintain it. So this is very simple, that it's somehow joined together. Energy performance contracting is, let's say, quite not complicated but let's say global thing, which focuses on buildings. The reconstruction or construction of building with guaranteed savings. I will have a separate slide for this. Then, of course, the building services engineering, quite a standard things on the development market. And of course, on the top of all these services, you can have energy management, which takes care for energy flows and is gathering data, and based on the data, you can save more energy. So this is somehow our attitude how to realize the energy savings. We are also trying to develop, based on the feedback from our customers, the new products or let's say services. One of them is, we call it photovoltaics as a service, which means that you just rent us your roof and you sign a contract that you will buy a green energy from these photovoltaics installed on the roof. And we realize it, we finance it, and after 15 years, you can let's say buy it into your pocket. So that's kind of the service. We see this as quite good, and also based on the feedback from customers, that they don't want to invest into let's say something which is not their core business. So we just take care of it. They are green, they are saving the environment, and everyone is fine with that. So this is photovoltaic as a service. Then EPC projects, which means it's a shortcut for energy performance contracting. So we do some kind of analysis on the building or some group of buildings. we put on the table the options how to complete the implementation of proposed measures. And let's say the biggest magic is that the savings are contractually guaranteed. Means that if we don't fulfill the contract, we have to pay you the difference between the let's say contract and the reality. EPC is often used, or was initially, let's say, developed and used for the public sector. I will show you some references. But nowadays we can see that it's also spreading into private sector. So we see that this market is developing quite a lot. And again, I think it's very good because you pay the investments, let's say, from the savings. So it's not heavy for your capex budgets. Quite fine also in these pandemic times when every crown is important. Now a few pictures, because these are, let's say, always more interesting. The reference is like EPC on Czech Technical University in Prague. Let's say that we modernized 30 buildings in 9 areas. They will save about 5.1 million of water costs. It was something a little more than 230 million Czech crowns investment, and the guaranteed savings, which is the most important factor of the contract, is almost 22 million per year. Last but not least, almost 4,500 saved tons of carbon, which is also, I think, very good. It is also the biggest project EPC in Czech Republic. Next is Rudolfinum. You can probably also see it behind me. It's a historical Czech building used for exhibitions and concerts. So I can just show you that the EPC is also possible in historical building. A lot of you probably driving cars around this building, and you cannot see from outside that it's very modern inside. So of course the initial design is or remain the same, but inside it's let's say very modern technologies. For example, because it's beside the Vltava River, so it's cooled down with the water from Vltava. Again, guaranteed many technologies modernized, like heating, cooling, lighting, regulation, and so on. We also related to energy management. We have also interconnected the timetable with the concert halls and so on. So we know how to regulate the energy to set up the best temperatures inside and to be efficient as much as possible. Maybe the latest job from our side is, let's say, in 10 years, I think the biggest photovoltaics in Czech Republic, which is installed on Škoda Auto Service Center in Kosmonosy. Also, Škoda wants to be green, so we agreed on cooperation, and we installed 450 megawatts of ecological energy per year on area of 2,200 square meters on the roofs, and hopefully the project will continue also with another parts of Škoda factory. This is an example of photovoltaics as a service. So Škoda didn't want to invest, so we take care for it, and we are selling the energy. From my side, this is the last slide. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, David. You're in time. It's amazing, your time management, guys. There is a question. If you have a statistic, do you have some stats about the share of sustainable energy usage in the Czech company landscape, I think amongst the Czech companies, as well as production, that means factories, as well as offices? Do you have some approximate idea?
I'm not sure, to be honest, what are the concrete numbers. Let's say it's growing because all of these renewables and modern technologies are subsidized. So it's somehow, let's say, getting closer. But still, the energy mix is very clear, and I think you can find the stats from energy regulation on the website.
Mm-hmm. There is a lot of lots of debate about governments, Czech politics going maybe in your way and helping you out. I mean, energy companies with pushing these technologies even further. What is the situation today in terms of your discussion with the Czech government, maybe to subsidize some of these products or maybe to give some other benefits?
That's a good question. It really depends on sectors, because I think in the industry sector it's quite okay, but the public sector, which I think or the state itself should be a leader in this to show to the others that it's a way which we should take for the future. And this is, let's say, the weakest part, I think. So we have, all of us will have to work a lot for it. Now there are, let's say, some obstacles like that. In case of state-owned buildings, there is a legislation related budgeting, which is not allowing, for example, the EPC contracts, even if it is guaranteed. So let's say that the terrain is quite tough, and this should be, let's say, more supported from the side of the state. And state should also be, let's say, the first one who is doing this, because it's visible for the others. And hand in hand with industry, these are supposed to be leaders in this area.
I've been hearing about your project with Škoda for quite a while now. Many news, so many different cooperation models, etc., etc. So, what can you expand on this story? What is your deal, or to say, what is your plan with Škoda altogether? Do you plan to create like a leader in energy, contemporary energy technologies with the largest car maker?
This is also one of the possibilities. I think that you can read a lot of it in the media, as you said. This is more the question for my strategy colleagues from headquarters, because let's say that it's a long-term negotiation with all of the possibilities. But in ČeSesko, we are realizing, let's say, concrete projects with let's say, current technologies. So we started on somehow things. They are available now, and I hope that the cooperation for the future will be of course upscaled. But for the moment, we are developing in ČeSesko mainly the photovoltaics for them.
And also your cooperation on the electromobility field is part of ČeSesko profile. Is that correct?
Yeah. Let's say it was quite. It was a little bit my aim to not include the electromobility today, because I know that there is planned another round focused on electromobility and smart cities. So there were not a lot of slides about it. But of course, the electromobility is also a part of our scope. Of course, we see a future in electromobility, or somehow partially. And so maybe I can talk about it on the next webinar. But we are also using electromobiles. We are delivering it to regions and cities who are, let's say, the best types of customers, because the type of operating the electric cars is best for them, and they are not polluting the city and so on. So I think we can talk about it quite a lot later.
It's been a nice sneak peek for the next webinar. Thank you, David, for your insights. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Quick summary. There is a pressure on the energy market, as we've heard, to become green. ČEZ is part of this process. Its daughter company, ČeSesko, has entered the contemporary energy sector with a modern approach, trying to respond to current energy trends. The combination of these trends and political pressure tend to turn passive customers into active and responsible ones. It is beneficial that there is authentic customer demand for cost-effective and smart solutions, and there are many. And we see that ČeSesko is trying successfully to provide them.